Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. As you join in, as you're watching this broadcast, either now or later on, just want to say that this is an exciting time to be an independent artist. We are 8 days away from the 10th annual IGAA conference. You know, it is very hard to have a conference for independent artists and to be able to say that we're in our 10th year when the majority of independent artists in America still are not attending. There are about approximately 10,000 independent artists just in the United States alone. There's so many. If you want to check those stats, you can always go to CD Baby or go to Spotify and just take a gander of how many artists there are who are not signed to a label, how many artists you've never heard of, how many artists are just on those platforms, Apple Music, Amazon. It's an amazing, staggering amount. Most independent artists are probably in the non-active status. That basically means that they have released a project or they may have released projects in the past but no longer active. Some were active before the pandemic. Some have been, a small percentage have been active during the pandemic. If there was ever a time for an independent artist to reset, it's now. If there was ever a time for you to get ahead, it's now. If there was ever a time for you to get your education, to fill in the missing blanks, the missing pieces that you need to be successful, it's now. This is the time to do so. And so we host a conference every year. We normally host it live in Chesapeake, Virginia at the Mount, which is a beautiful church. It's a mega church in Chesapeake, Virginia. But this year we're hosting it online. And it's going to be via Zoom. It will not be live streamed. It's a private conference for those who paid to go. It's $99 for 2.5 days of comprehensive learning for independent artists. And if you don't want to learn, you basically are saying, I don't want to grow. If you don't want to learn, you're basically saying, I don't want to grow. I don't want to get ahead. If you think that there's another way to do this, there may be. But this is a wonderful, wonderful way in a Christian environment tailored towards gospel music artists to really, really help you, and Christian music artists, to really, really help you get ahead in your career. I'm telling you, it's co-founded by Earl Bynum and myself, and we are both Stellar Award-winning gospel artists. We have fought the battle. We are still fighting battles. We have struggled. We have labored. And who better to learn from, who better to support than two people who are doing and have done a lot of the things that some of you aspire to do. This conference is not just for indies, but it's also for people who may have been in the industry for a while. You may have been signed to a label or what have you, and you want to learn. So let me tell you what's going to happen. These are the sessions we're going to have. Songwriting that transcends generations. It's going to be taught by national critically acclaimed songwriter David Frazier, who wrote songs like I Need You to Survive and Second Chance and so many other great gospel hits. He is a phenomenal songwriter who is constantly writing, constantly contributing, not just to familiar artists' records, but also to artists who are independent. He'll be there. The mindset, the business, and God's favor is another topic we're going to cover. That's going to be taught by Bishop Kim Brown, the pastor of the Mount Church. He is a consummate pastor, but he's also a consummate businessman. And he has been very, very successful in business, and he will be doing that session. And if anybody's ever been to our conference, Bishop Brown will stop in and speak 15, 20 minutes and just blow the whole conference up. And so this year we've given him a time to just pour into us. Like I said, if you don't want to be here at this conference this year, you're really saying, I don't want to make it. I don't want to learn. Even if you didn't have the money, we have people who are willing to sponsor you to help you get to the conference this year. Here's another thing. Building a business from the ground up will be taught by a former State Farm agent, Vera Dixon. She started a business a couple of years ago. She's had to transition. She's had to struggle. She's had to labor. She can really, really pour into you about how to do that. The music industry, where are we? And other topics will be taught by Jennifer Turnbow, who is the head of the National Songwriters Association in Nashville, Tennessee. And she is and her organization handles a lot that has to do with royalties and publishing and things like that. And she's coming to tell us what we need to do next, how we ought to proceed, how we can take advantage of the next season in terms of positioning ourselves for royalties, and those things of that nature, and where we are in terms of how people are paying out royalties. Sunday best versus Sunday's best. Sunday best versus Sunday's best. That's going to be by Sister Neely Dickinson, who is a consummate veteran in the gospel music industry. She's worked both with major artists and independent artists. She works with Sunday Best Show. I have known her for about over 20 years. She's responsible for many, many gospel artist careers, for the development and the advancement of many gospel artist careers. And so she's coming because she works for Sunday Best. I also wanted her to talk about what's the difference between being Sunday Best, which is a winner of a television show, and Sunday's Best, which is a person who may be a winner in their local church. So she's going to come and pour that into us. Getting paid in 2020 and beyond. I'm going to be talking a little bit about that along with others. Taxes, pay now, pay later. Sybil Sloan will be there. She is a tax attorney. She will be helping us to navigate our career in terms of taxes, what we can claim, what we can't claim, how to stay in compliance with the IRS, and to have a functional business that's reputable. We need that. Touring and merchandising, we'll be covering that. The playlist masterclass will be taught by streaming expert Mike Warner, who he has a vast knowledge of how to grow your streaming platform and grassroots. He offered so much information to us last year. We had to have him come back because it's going to take 2 or 3 years just to grasp what he has trying to pour into us in regards to streaming. And we are behind, but we can catch up. Good deal versus bad deal. Attorney Garrett Johnson will be there. He has been with us since the beginning. He's a board member of the IGAA, and he's going to be talking about legal aspects of a good deal, legal aspects of a bad deal, and what we need to do in terms of if we're going to make any deals from this point on. From idea to release, we're going to be covering that. Personal success testimonies. We're going to have several people talk about their personal success testimonies, and then the power of CCLI. George Ross, who is the CFO of CCLI, will be here to really help us as a black community, and and those who are not all blacks will be there, but as a black community, really help us to really understand what we need to do to take full advantage of CCLI. You don't know, but there are artists and songwriters and musicians that we don't know who are writing songs, and they are getting paid mightily by the songs showing on screens in churches, and we need to be able to take advantage of that as well. Your church, more than likely, if you have a medium to large size church, or you're doing any kind of broadcasting over screens, you're paying a CCLI license, and you're not even benefiting from that. And we need to learn how to, as songwriters, benefit from CCLI, and as churches, how to support our songwriters and our artists, because that's on top of royalties, on top of everything else. CCLI can be another streaming income, a stream of income for independent artists. So I think I named everybody that's going to be there. Henry Harris will be there. He is Mr. Information, Mr. Research. He will be there to tell us, to help us to build a solid foundation. This is a time that everybody can reset. You can build that solid foundation. And he has such a wealth of knowledge in so many areas. He's going to be there to really pour into us. I'll be there throughout the day. Several of our board members will be there online with you. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time. We're going to have multiple chat rooms so that you can talk with clinicians, with leaders outside of the normal session if you have additional questions. We have Thursday night performances that's going to happen from artists who signed up to perform on Thursday night. All that's going to be online. And then Friday we have our IGAA Awards, which is going to be a phenomenal, phenomenal night of worship. So with all that being said, it really, really, really is a crucial time for every independent artist, including myself, including Earl Bynum, to really, really hone in on what we need to do. I've already taken many steps in my career already to improve what I'm doing. And I want to make sure that everybody wins in this season, and the winning is in the education and then the implementation of what you've learned. All right. God bless all of you. And go now to www.indiegospelalliance.com to register.